Hello? That works. Um, well, firstly, thank you all for coming over. I know day two tends to be a bit of a graveyard shift. Having this during lunch probably doesn't help. I'm just pleased it's not just me talking to an empty room. There's at least a few people here to listen to what we have to say about frictionless checkout and Amazon Pay. So maybe just to kick things off, a bit of an introduction about myself. So my name is Kingsley. I head up strategic sales for Amazon Pay UK. I've been with Amazon for just under 3 years, and prior to Amazon, I worked in the payment space with other SaaS companies and payments companies. So really happy to be here as well to talk to you a bit more about what we do at Amazon, specifically Amazon Pay, and hopefully answer a few questions in case you have any at the end of my presentation. So I think it's always good to start with a problem, and at Amazon we're really big on data. So this is research from the Baymard Institute, a really trusted source in terms of consumer research, and over 70% of shoppers abandon their cart at some point in the checkout process. To be precise, 70.2% of users abandon their cart. Of course, if you're a retailer or a merchant who sells online, as Amazon, we know this very well. It takes a lot of time and effort to convince users to engage with your product, to get them onto your website. And if at the very critical moment when they're supposed to be purchasing or completing a purchase, they decide to abandon cart, that's of course quite a poor experience for the user, but for a merchant it would be clearly a lost revenue. So we thought perhaps we'd peel this back a bit more to look at what are the reasons why customers, of course, decide to abandon carts when they're shopping online. So to do this, we looked at Statista, again another trusted third-party source in terms of consumer research. And this is data from the last couple of years, so it is still relevant. But here are the top 6 reasons which were identified by speaking to consumers when they said, well, what are the reasons why you choose to abandon a cart? What drives that decision? The top one is the delivery options, so customers get to end of checkout and maybe someone says, well, you have to pay me for delivery. They go, well, nah, I'm not paying you, and off they go. The second one, payment options, which is something which we recognize as Amazon Pay. The third one is lack of clarity upon checkout. So a shopper gets to checkout and it's not super clear what they need to do next. Perhaps you're missing a payment method which they really want, and they decide, well, it's not for me, I'm going to move on. The next 2 are about return policy. So shoppers, if they're not super clear about, can I get my money back? They go, well, I'll probably decide to go elsewhere. Then you've got security problems. So if it's not trusted, they have a question mark about, is this site really a site I want to put my card details into? That could be a reason why they decide to jump off. And finally, in terms of top 6 reasons, is if you force them to create an account. Which of course is something which a lot of merchants are doing these days, because getting consumer data is of course important. If you can encourage users to create an account, I see why merchants do it, but that creates friction for users. And of course, a lot of them decide to go elsewhere or perhaps abandon the shopping journey. The ones in orange are ones which we can solve for at Amazon Pay. So 3 of the top 6 reasons with Amazon Pay, you can solve for these on your retail websites and your checkouts. So essentially, how can Amazon Pay help, right? So that's the ultimate question. Like we've talked about the problems, what are some of the things that we as Amazon and Amazon Pay do to ensure that once you've got the shoppers engaged on your websites, they don't decide to drop off and maybe never come back. Our key purpose is to reduce friction. Right, I'm hoping everyone here has got an Amazon account. We all shop on Amazon. And one of the reasons why we all shop on Amazon, I would hope, is because we love the checkout process, right? Like it's very often people say to me, I check out on Amazon without even realizing that I paid for something. Of course, for us, that's about ensuring that users can complete checkout as cleanly as possible, as swiftly as possible, with as little friction as necessary. And there's over 300 million active Amazon customers worldwide. A vast majority of these are Prime customers. Prime customers are super important to Amazon. These are customers who spend on average twice as much. They're also customers who are a lot more loyal. So these are customers who you attract by offering Amazon Pay, right? Because this is the payment method they trust, this is the payment method which they use online, and from our perspective, how do we deliver this sort of benefits to these customers if they choose to shop off Amazon as well, i.e. on a retailer's website? With Amazon Pay, most customers will actually skip the sign-in page. The reason for this is we keep a session open. Most people shop on Amazon weekly, some bi-weekly, but we keep a session open when you shop on Amazon. So that means that as a shopper, you can actually skip the sign-in page and go straight through to checkout. And I've got a small video to show you what this might look like, but essentially, it's one less step for users to actually go through. Customers have the most up-to-date payment methods on the Amazon account. Again, driven by the fact that shoppers shop with us very often, we prompt users if a card is expired, so we always have the most up-to-date delivery address, the most up-to-date payment details. So again, from a retailer's perspective, from a merchant's perspective, if a shopper decides to use Amazon Pay, you have that confidence that the information that we're sending on to you to complete that order is the most up-to-date information which this customer has, because they shop with us very often and we have records of those details and prompt them to change them if they need to change them. And finally, just something in terms of some of the benefits there, right? Having an express checkout option like this, which reduces friction, increases conversion. This is research by ComScore. 35% is a figure which came out, but of course, it could also be higher or lower, depending on integration. But again, just some of the key thought processes behind us coming up with this product to help you reduce friction for your customers. So, what is the checkout experience like? So I've got a video. It's always hit and miss with these things when you come to a video. So we tried it earlier on. I'm going to try again and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, I might as well just explain what the video looks like. So it's basically trying to compare the Amazon checkout experience with a standard checkout experience. And by standard, think about a checkout experience where a customer needs to put in payment details, address, etc., versus putting an Amazon Pay button and allowing that shopper to complete checkout. So I'm going to play it, and let's hope it works. So here we go. Great, it did work. He looks pretty happy as well. So the comparison there just gives you, as a user, having to go through the steps which most sites now require, versus having a button where a user can click on that and go through checkout. So what is our mentor model? I mean, everything we do at Amazon starts with a mentor model. We need to think, what is it we're trying to solve for and why are we doing it? And everything we do as well is centered around customer obsession, meeting a demand. How do we delight our customers, whether they're shopping on Amazon or shopping off Amazon? And by our customers, these are our mutual customers, if you're a retailer, of course. And the key here is about creating a frictionless checkout with the same trust and security which customers have come to trust and love when they shop on Amazon on third-party websites. That's the mentor model. And the question was, how do we do that? And of course, the Amazon Pay product ticks the box as far as that's concerned. But at the same time, we want to ensure that if you decide to offer Amazon Pay, the integration is seamless. The lower the lift, the more likely it is for a merchant to adopt Amazon Pay. But of course, then you want to get some values from integrating Amazon Pay, and this would be related to conversion, which, as you just seen, is a much quicker, much slicker experience than the traditional checkout, but also creating value for merchants. And we've got some anecdotes at the end of merchants who work with Amazon Pay, with some of the things that they share in terms of here is why we use Amazon Pay, and here is some of the value that we see in using Amazon Pay. So here is what the journey looks like. I'm hoping everyone in here has at least used Amazon Pay. If you haven't, I'm sure you've shopped on Amazon, so you've got a sense for roughly what the look and feel of this is. The concept here is, rather than having a journey on the Amazon retail website, this could be your website. And there is a button which you can place at any point in the user journey. This could be on the product page, it could be cart, it could be end of checkout. And very clearly say to a customer, use your Amazon account, so it's super clear what they need to do. The customer clicks on that button. It takes them through to a page where they can see the payment details which they already have on Amazon. In this case, there's a card which is highlighted. This is usually the default card. They can choose to change the card if they want to. So if I want to use another card, I can click on that and change it. And then I go through to checkout and I place my order. It's as simple as that. So we pass in all the information you need, name, address, contact details, email address. So as a merchant, you can then go ahead and fulfill that order. The last screen just talks about how we help recover transactions which you might have lost. And the reason for this is our decline recovery flow. So the average customer has about 2 to 3 cards stored on Amazon. And in a traditional checkout, if a customer gets through to checkout and that card gets declined, usually that's it, right? You know, like there's one card, what next really? With an Amazon Pay checkout, because customers have multiple cards held in your wallet, we would actually recover soft decline orders. So we would prompt this user to go back into the wallet, choose another card, try again, and a lot of these orders then go through and get approved and get authorized. So again, it's an additional benefit which you wouldn't get from a standard checkout, but we can only do this because our customers, so Amazon customers, tend to have multiple cards in the wallet, and we do prompt them to go back in and retry, and by doing so we recover a lot more orders which may have been lost orders if we didn't do a decline handling process. Then I thought I include a few sort of anecdotes. It's all great me sitting here and talking about how wonderful this is, but I think it always helps if we can get anecdotes from merchants who use Amazon Pay, because that gives you also a sense for what other retailers or other merchants are saying. So here is just a bit of a cross-section of different brands in different sectors and what they say about why they use Amazon Pay or some of the benefits of Amazon Pay. So the range, who I'm sure you all know, they mention about the process being very smooth, which then translates to higher conversion. Again, it's the theme which we've talked about. You know, the less friction you introduce into checkout, the more users actually go ahead and complete checkout. National Express, we actually do an ongoing campaign with them every year. Last year we did one with Harry Redknapp, for anyone who's an England fan or Tottenham Spurs fan. You know, we have a Prime deal as well with National Express. Interestingly for them, it wasn't just about conversion, it was also about delivering new customers. Because again, there are customers who perhaps have never completed a checkout on a retailer's website, and by seeing the Amazon Pay button, you know, they say, well, it's a button I can recognize, I can identify with, and you know, we do find that merchants see new customers being acquired through the Amazon Pay button. Sport Pursuit, again, they talked about speed. It was faster than every other express checkout which they had. Most merchants have more than one, but Amazon Pay, of course, you know, was faster in this case. Seven Oaks Sound and Vision, they talked about 60% reduction in checkout time. And finally, Atlas for Men completely revolutionized the way the customers make purchases. So again, just a few anecdotes I thought I include to give you a sense for what customers who use Amazon Pay think of the solution. And I think with that, also very conscious to leave a bit of time for any questions. I've got 5 minutes left for questions, so I will say thank you for coming and spending the lunch bit with me, and if there's any burning questions, I will take a question or two. So he went up first, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Sorry?
Can you hear me now? Sorry. Most of your elements of Amazon is B2C, but we're very much a B2B market. What's the take-up of Amazon Pay on the B2B sector?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So we do support B2B, and we have merchants who sell B2B. Again, the take-up isn't as high as with consumers for the same reason that, again, most people who shop on Amazon don't tend to be businesses in that sense, in terms of volume. But as a B2B merchant, you can use Amazon Pay, and this is supported. And we do indeed have B2B merchants live and offering Amazon Pay.
Sorry, you might have mentioned this at the start of your talk, but did you mention what the fees were for Amazon Pay?
Yeah, no, so I didn't mention what the fees were. And the reason I didn't mention what the fees were is because we do bespoke pricing. It's super important for us that we partner with merchants, and understand the volumes that they do and reflect that in the pricing model. If you were to go online, there's a list price. It actually says, merchants who do below a certain volume. It lists 2.75% plus 35p. That's what's online. But of course, we would speak to merchants to understand what volumes do you do and how can we reflect that in a more customized pricing model. So there isn't a single price per se. There is, depending on volume, we would look at negotiating customized pricing.
And one other question. When the customer checks out and pays for the product or whatever it is, at what point then does the money get transferred into the e-commerce's bank account, or is it an Amazon account, or where the funds go to?
So, thank you. The funds go directly into your bank account. So as part of the registration process, you would need to set up an account with your bank account details where the funds will go, and we do daily disbursements. So at the end of every trading day, we would disburse directly into your bank account. I've got any more questions? I've got 2 minutes.
Thank you.
One more? Yeah, sir, over there, please.
Hi there. It'd be good to understand what the key incentives would be for the customer to use Amazon Pay over card, for example.
Yeah, no, this is a great question. I think for us, one of the key incentives is pretty much creating a frictionless experience, right? Like customers shop on Amazon in part because of how easy it is for them to shop on Amazon. So that's one of the key things. How do we reflect that same experience which users have come to love and trust on Amazon on third-party sites? So that's the first part of it, right? It's presenting something which people are familiar with off Amazon. In some markets, UK not yet, but we also support things like gift cards. So customers who have a gift card, Amazon gift card, they can actually use Amazon Pay. In Japan, that's live already. We're looking at bringing that over to the UK and potentially EU and US. But additionally, we do installments, for example. So in markets like Germany, we do installments. In France, we do installments. UK soon to be. Germany, we do invoice. We do pay by bank. So there's a lot of things that we direct debit, not pay by bank. But effectively, for an Amazon customer, this is about providing you with the checkout options that you already have on your Amazon wallet, just off Amazon. So again, it's giving them a bit more than just saying, here is a way to pay by card. It's, well, what else do you use on Amazon? And we reflect that on Amazon Pay as well, as payment options. Great. So we're just in time, but just before I wrap up, there is some leaflets on the seats. We're just over there. I've got a support team here. If you want to scan and enter, there's a raffle. We've got some Amazon goodies to give away. But again, as I say, thank you all for coming and listening to me on the quiet afternoon, and hopefully you took some benefits from being here. But yeah, thank you so much.